God of War Ascension might be the most hated God of War game, and what's crazy, at its core, it's far from a bad game. So why wasn't it received with much praise from longtime fans of the series and critics in comparison to the other games? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding. Released in 2013, God of War Ascension was a prequel to it all. The game takes place before the original trilogy, 10 years before the events of God of War, and tells the story of Kratos being imprisoned and punished by the Furies for breaking his blood oath with Ares after being tricked into killing his family. Long story short, Kratos has to defeat the Furies, completely severing his ties to Ares. The story don't sound too bad, eh? But there's one issue. 3 years prior, back in 2010, we played a little game called God of War 3, where you did this, that, this, and this, that, and this. God of War Ascension had to follow up God of War 3, and that's one of the main reasons people gave it a hard time. It really had some big shoes to fill. God of War 3 closed out the trilogy having you literally massacre all the Greek gods. It don't get no crazier than that. I vividly remember people just not caring about Ascension because it was simply a prequel. It's pretty much the Avengers Endgame effect. After experiencing Endgame, people weren't trying to watch Black Widow. Like, we know you died. This was the case for a lot of people. I know so much people that just skipped this game.
I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Franchise fatigue was another reason God of War Ascension got hate. Thinking back now, it sounds pretty crazy thinking that people were just getting tired of the series, but that was the case. During the PS3 era, we got remastered versions of God of War 1 and 2, two PSP releases which got ported over to the PS3, and God of War 3. All these games were great, but they all followed the same formula, so by the time God of War Ascension came around, people were just burnt out. Plus, once again, it was a prequel. That's why there was a massive change in direction for God of War 2018, from its over-the-shoulder camera perspective, to its combat, to its newly added RPG mechanics. They had to do something different. They had to take the franchise to the next level. Like I said, God of War Ascension is far from a bad game. The visuals are beautiful, well, for its time. It has some pretty epic set pieces and boss fights, but the developers definitely made some questionable choices regarding its gameplay, specifically the rage meter. Oh, how I dislike the rage meter. You can tell that they were definitely running out of ideas because this mechanic was so unnecessary. Your rage meter needed to be full to do extended combos you could do in God of War 3, and on harder difficulties where enemies counter and have stagger immunity, the game was just frustrating. Getting hit once resetted everything, and doing your special also resetted everything, so it was so counterproductive. The camera was pretty bad in Ascension as well. There were moments where it was just too far out that you really couldn't see what was going on. Personally, those were my two major gripes with the game. In hindsight, I would say God of War Ascension is pretty underappreciated due to its timing of releasing after God of War 3. They probably should have saved the game and made it a launch title for the PS4. It probably would have been received a lot better. The game doesn't deserve the crazy hate that it gets, but it has legitimate issues that holds it from true greatness. I still think the game is worth revisiting if you skipped it back when it released. So that's it, y'all. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe for more quality content.